Okay, I got a new computer. Oh, the camera. Oh. I'd like to call to order the Wednesday, October 4th, 2023 Newington Economic Development Commission meeting to order. Could we all stand for the pledge, please? I pledge allegiance
to the flag
of the United States
of America,
to the republic
which is stands
one day under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
justice for all. Noreen, could we have a roll call, please?
Surely. Chairman Avey,
Here.
Commissioner Beatrice,
Here.
Commissioner Havens,
Here.
Commissioner Nagel,
Here.
Commissioner Stam, Commissioner Marissa Lindsay, Commissioner Paul Lindsay.
Here.
She's excused.
She is? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Marissa's excused.
And Paul is here.
Correct.
Okay, fine. You're all set.
Yes, he is.
Okay, you're all set then.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Noreen.
You're welcome.
Could I get approval of? Could I get the approval of the September 6th, 2023 EDC regular meeting minutes? Could I have a motion?
Motion to approve the minutes of 9/6/23.
And a second?
Second.
Second by Geraldine. First by Dana Havens. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. I think the ayes have it. Okay. I forgot to add under new business, so I'd like to make a motion that under new business, we add Michelle McCabe, Associate Matrix onto the agenda for her presentation. Could I have a second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Hey, that passes. Next item. The town manager report. I don't see him on. Did he didn't give anything to me, Eric? Did he happen to give anything to you?
He did not, Teresa.
Okay. Now we'll go down to public participation. I don't see any public participation. We'll go down to the chamber report. The only thing I know about the chamber is that the Waterfall Festival this Saturday has been canceled due to the pending horrible weather once again.
And it'll be in April.
Oh, okay. Might be in April now. That's good to know. Old business, the beautification committee. Do we have anything on that? Anyone wanna? Okay, I would like to add before I forget, and it would be under old business. Last month, the EDC did our first ribbon cutting ceremony at Evolutions Yoga and Wellness on Market Square. And I just would like to thank Mayor Del Buono and Councilor Tim Mankey for coming. And also we had two commissioners, Mary Beatrice and Marissa Lenzi, that came and helped welcome Tiffany and Jackie, who are the owners, into the community. So thank you, Marissa and Mary, for coming on down. I believe it was, I felt it was a successful event, and I know Tiffany and Jackie appreciated all of us being there. Anything from anyone else? Okay, I'm gonna turn it on over to Mary, and I apologize, Mary, for putting you on the spot. But if you'd like to introduce Michelle, I know you have a little more insight into what she will be presenting us tonight. And then it's Michelle's show.
Thank you. And thank you, Michelle, for joining us. I'm really, really excited to meet you on Zoom and to also learn a bit more about what your organization can do to help us improve our downtown business district. I want to thank Kim Rada, Councilwoman Kim Rada. I believe she's on the Zoom as well, for actually pointing me in the right direction and giving me the information that she received from State Rep Gary Turco regarding the good work that the Connecticut Main Street Center matrix has been doing in other communities. And one of the things that I've been very, very interested in to learn is from their expertise and the other experiences they've had in communities the same size as ours, what types of things should we be working on? How can we improve our downtown business district to make it the best that it possibly can be? So I'm really excited to welcome Michelle and to hear about what she and her organization do to help us make our downtown awesome.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mary. It's such a pleasure to have this opportunity to meet with all of you. And I thank you for inviting me to your meeting. So I am the executive director of Connecticut Main Street Center. Again, my name is Michelle McCabe. I've been with the organization for a little over a year, and I am thrilled to be able to join because Connecticut Main Street for almost 25 years now has been providing communities across the state, no matter the size, from the large urban centers to the smallest of our small towns. Even if there isn't a downtown yet, but there's a community that wants one, we're here as a resource to help in all of the journey to get from where you are to where you want to be. So Connecticut Main Street, we are what's called a coordinating program for Main Street America. And why that's important is because Main Street America, which is a national program started by the National Trust for Historic Preservation, has basically developed a methodology that can be applied to any community, no matter the size, to help with their Main Street revitalization and vibrancy. So as you know, downtowns and Main Streets are not a static environment. It's always changing. Businesses are changing, buildings are changing, the world is changing, and Main Streets are expected and should be able to adapt to all of those changes. And what we practice, that is a method that was started and has been proven for as long as Main Street America has been in existence, is what's called the 4-point approach. And basically, it is 4 categories of activity that happen on a Main Street that need to be managed. And the second thing that we profess to all of our communities is Main Street needs to be managed. That the best Main Streets and downtowns have a designated entity, and that entity can be any kind of entity, from a downtown commission to a nonprofit that is, a downtown nonprofit, to a special services district or a business improvement district. It runs the gamut, but the most successful Main Streets are ones that have somebody where all they focus on is that Main Street. And then they can employ this 4-point approach to help them with that management. So the 4 points are, organization, and that's basically that management structure. It's who are the people involved? What kind of, do they have a board of directors? Do they have a team of volunteers? How are they managing the process of all the different stakeholders that are part of a Main Street? Small businesses, arts and culture, property managers, the town and the municipal governing bodies, all transit, residents, all of that. The second bucket is design. That's basically everything that you see on that Main Street, from sidewalk conditions to pedestrian ease of mobility and safety, to clean, friendly, planters, facades. Everything that you see is all about the design of your Main Street or your downtown area. The third bucket is economic vitality. And as the name implies, it's all about how healthy your economy is in that section of town. It's understanding what is your building inventory, your vacancies, the kinds of businesses you have. Do you have clusters of business? Do you have an overabundance of one kind, or you don't have a lot of another kind? All of that has to do with your economic vitality of that area. And finally, promotion. How are you positioning your downtown area? How are you marketing it? And to whom? Do you have events? Do you have a website that's easy for, let's say, an interested business that might want to locate to your downtown to be able to get a sense of things? Everything that you do to talk about your town, tourism, everything, that's all in the promotion bucket. And as you can imagine, there are best practices, techniques, and different elements that go into each of those 4 categories that, when all working in synchronicity, make it easier for you to plan what you want to do for your downtown. So what does Connecticut Main Street have to do with all of these things? Well, all of our programming, all of our services are kind of revolving around those 4 points and helping communities like yours to be able to implement some of those best practices. So our members, we have a field services director. Our members get a visit from Carl Rosa, and he brings with him an 86-point assessment tool. And this assessment tool is a series of questions, all related to the 4 points that we score from 1 to 4. And we ask a bunch of questions, like, for example, in economic vitality, we'll ask about your business inventories. And if, let's say, you looked at me and said, what business inventories? We don't have those, then you would get a 1. If you had your business inventories that you updated, every week, and it was all in a database, and it was easily searchable and all of that, then that would be a 4, because you can't do any better than that. And these scores come to our communities, but also with the report are a list of action items, from most important, you should do them right away, to this is a nice to have and you should think about doing this in the future. And it's an incredibly helpful tool for creating an annual work plan or a strategic plan. And what's nice is we come every year to redo the assessment. And so you'll be able to see improvement over time, that you went from a 3 to a 4 in this area because you started doing these, events or whatever it might be. And what's great about the data tool too is that it is not at all subjective. It's really like, are you doing this, this, and this? Yes, no. It's very, which is nice because it makes it, like I said, very easy to know, okay, what do we need to do to improve in this area? And Carl is also always available to answer questions. He was a Main Street manager for over a decade in Waterbury, and there's nothing about Main Street that he doesn't know, in short. We also do a lot of educational and training opportunities throughout the year. We have webinars on all kinds of topics, from the use of public art, starting a cultural district, doing parklets, which is when your restaurants get extended out into the sidewalk, all kinds of Main Street topics. We cover them in webinars. We have summits that are planned this year. The one that's happening in October is really interesting. It's about positioning your main street in social media. And it may sound like a training that's about how you use social media as a town, but that's actually not what it's about. We have 2 case studies, 2 panels. One, New Canaan partnered with social media influencers to do a whole campaign around their downtown. The social media influencers did the work. It was their partnership that was the impetus for getting more foot traffic in their downtown area. And then our second panel is using Westville, a neighborhood in New Haven, as a case study. And we're going to be talking to a number of viral entrepreneurs. They're the ones that have a huge social media audience that brings people to that neighborhood just to go to their store, and the ripple effect that that's had on all of these other businesses. So it's showcasing how transformative having the right businesses in your town can be, because they will bring audiences to you and to everybody else. And then the keynote in the middle is going to be conducted by our new state chief marketing officer, Anthony, who is doing marketing for tourism and for businesses. So it should be really exciting. We have a summit in March that's all about blight and vacancy on main streets. We do Spotlight on Main, which is an event where we showcase one of our main member communities. So we come to that town, we ask, who are the people that you want to show all of the opportunities in your town? What is the story you want to tell? And this is not a public event in that it's not like a celebrate Newington Day and all of the residents come to it. It would be a let's say for you really wanted to get investors and developers excited about some of the spaces you have available, or that might be your main focus. I'm not suggesting it is, but let's say it was. We would look to invite developers, investors. That was what Torrington wanted. We were in Torrington in the spring. They had done a lot of redevelopment of some of their buildings on their main street, and they wanted to change the narrative of Torrington and say, you know what, we have a great main street. There are all these opportunities. You should come. We're a town that will make it easy for you, see what we have to offer. And the Spotlight on Main is a presentation, a walking tour, and then a closing reception. So it's also a great opportunity for other towns to learn what other towns are doing. This past September, we did our Spotlight on Main in Windsor. And Windsor was interested in getting entrepreneurs interested in their town. They have a lot of great spaces and they wanted to see new businesses in there. And so we were very careful to extend invitations to the people that could be inspired by their community. We also have an annual end of the year award ceremony, which is a lot of fun too. Let's see, we do a lot of advocacy work. We are very lucky that we have Representative Jennifer Leeper and Representative Anthony Noland, who co-chair the Main Street Working Group. And that's our opportunity to bring concerns of our members to state legislators and, suggest some ways that they can help challenges that downtowns are facing. So last session, one of the major initiatives that we worked with them on was the Receivership Act, which gives municipalities and individuals opportunities to claim blighted buildings and redevelop them. And then to either claim them or the building owner can reimburse for the renovations and keep the building. So that was something that was only available to towns 30,000 population and above, and now it's 15,000. So we love the opportunity to be able to raise the voices of communities like yours up at the Capitol and make sure that their people are aware of challenges and can enact new regulations that can help. So that is basically what we do in a nutshell. I would love to answer any questions that you might have or learn more about what your aspirations are for your downtown area, and we can go from there.
Thank you, Michelle. That was unbelievably informative. As you were speaking, I was trying to jot down a bunch of notes. One of the things that I'm very excited about is actually, I feel like we are already on the road to doing some of these things. There are definitely some parts of our Main Street planning. We've talked about beautification. We've talked about new development coming in, especially like where Keeney Manufacturing used to be. There's been some exciting developments in that area. But I've also seen some things that, in my opinion, we probably need to focus a little bit more on and might be able to benefit from some guidance on that. So I'd like to kind of throw that out to the group and see if anybody else has anything they'd like to contribute to that.
While you are thinking, oh, sorry, yes, a question.
I have two questions. One is, do you work with the Chamber of Commerce?
Yes, I mean, as
You
I had
work with
mentioned,
Chamber of
Main
Com-
Streets, they do best when all the stakeholders have an opportunity to collaborate with each other. And so we work with the chambers when we do events in different communities. We're actually in the process of developing a program called Diversity on Main that is a matchmaking program for vacant storefronts and entrepreneurs, where we will definitely be integrating chambers of commerce into that project. Chambers should be at the table in Main Street development efforts right from the jump. And the best communities have that relationship with them. What's great about having a Main Street program, and that's what differentiates them from a Chamber of Commerce, are a couple things. One, the chambers are a membership-based organization, as you know, and their members are not always Main Street businesses. There are businesses that will be all across your community, and a warehouse that's off, in a more rural part of a town is going to have different sort of concerns and issues and desires than a dry cleaner that's located on Main Street. And also sometimes, those Main Street businesses aren't members of the chambers at all. And then the other thing is that Main Street's so much more than just business. There are a lot of elements to it. And what's nice is sometimes it's the Main Street organization that serves as an advocate for the ecosystem as a whole, if that makes sense. Because sometimes the chamber might have an idea that isn't really that great for the downtown necessarily. And you'll have that person that can say to them, hey, how about we look at it this way, and sort of be that Main Street champion in that important relationship, because it's a very important one.
Okay. What do you charge?
It depends on the size of the
How much do
community.
you charge?
Oh, I don't know if you heard me. I'm so sorry. I don't know if it's me that's breaking up, but I believe I sent a chart of the cost. And if you're a municipal commission, it's based on the population of your community. That would be the fee structure. It's a nominal fee. It's really more of a sort of donation, skin in the game sort of contribution to the work. We also have, oh, sorry.
Nonprofit?
Yes, we're a nonprofit.
Are you not?
Dana? I see your hand up.
Yes.
You raised it.
Yeah, I found the button, all excited, and I was like, where's the mute button? All right. Who did you send that fee structure to so that we can, Mary, do you have it? Can you tell us what our cost would be?
I'm looking for it right now. I have the original with the video, the YouTube video that was sent to us. I'm not sure the fee structure was in there.
What size community are you?
About
We
30.
have about 30,000 residents.
30,000 residents. Sorry, give me 1 second. I'll pull up.
I'm pulling it up too, so.
We'll see
It's a
who does
race.
it, who gets to it first. It'll probably be you.
I don't know about that.
I think I got it. Let's see. So a town of 30,000 is 1,500.
And that's an annual fee?
Yes.
I just had a question. I work for the planning
Thanks.
office and run their meetings. Do you guys get involved or do any grant work? Or point us in directions if there if you know ones that are available? Okay.
We definitely keep our members abreast of opportunities, and while and we've written letters of support for grants for communities, absolutely. And then there have been occasions where we've looked at applications with communities and offered sort of our input. But we don't actually do any grant writing.
Okay, that's fine. We have a grant writer, but sometimes many grants are out there in the world, and sometimes we don't necessarily hear about everything. So if there's something specific to a downtown, a facade thing, or something like that that may be useful, that's good. Good to know.
Following up on the grants, do you send notifications to your members? These grants have become available, or do we have to go to you and say, hey, we're looking for something to fix this up? Do you know if there's any grants out there?
We regularly post opportunities in our newsletter, and I've had communities that have asked, have said, hey, we're thinking of doing this. Do you know anything? And then if I don't know, I research them for a community. So the answer is both. So it's really nice if you have the idea and you haven't begun the search yet, then you can just send an email or pick up the phone and we can direct you.
And how about contracting services? Like if we wanted a major rehaul of the facing of our buildings, or if we wanted all new lighting, do you direct us to approved vendors or no?
Yes, we have a professional affiliate network, and so we refer municipalities or Main Street programs to them. And if we don't have a professional affiliate who's in that, let's say, that sector, but we, as Carl would say, we know a guy, then we also just send people to the people who we know. We don't vet them. Like, there'll be people that we know have worked in other communities, but unless we've worked directly with them, which chances are we probably haven't, because we aren't actually overseeing, as Main Street, then we wouldn't be able to necessarily provide a recommendation. Or a vetted recommendation, I should say, yes. We also are introducing another new program this year that's called Main Street Accelerator. And actually, you don't have to be a member to apply. It is application-based. And I will send you information. It's on our website, but I'll send you information after the presentation. It's intended for communities that have either a project that they're looking to implement, but they would like to be part of like a guided process to get that project up off the ground with the team, or perhaps a community that has a problem that they don't have a solution to as of yet, and they're looking for an opportunity to together think of how they might solve that problem. And it's how many weeks is it? It's January through June. And it's with the exception of the opening program and the closing graduation, it's all virtual. There's modules where you'll learn about the 4 points. We have speakers like Sustainable Tea on being, eco-friendly community. Fundraising and development is another module. And so you go through these sort of guided, self-paced educational pieces, coaching calls. You'll get different worksheets and homework for you and your group to do. And for those who successfully finish the program, we will be providing a small amount of grant funding to go towards the project, ranging from, you know, $2,500 to $5,000, depending on the project. So that's another, it's called Main Street Accelerator.
And what's the cost to be trained by Main Street Accelerator?
There isn't a cost.
Oh, really? And then you actually get money back.
Yeah.
That one. Teresa, go train on something else.
But I will say that with the membership, what's nice is that you get that assessment, which is really providing that, you know, overall roadmap that is something that is a tool that can be used, you know, over and over again.
Does anyone else have any questions?
I have one more question about the accelerator program. What's the time commitment there? I know you said January to June, but is it once a week? Is it on your own? What is it?
It is primarily self-guided, and hold on, let me pull it up. You can see that I'm not the education person.
Well, you will be now.
One moment. Oh my goodness. So sorry, it's not where it's supposed to be. Just give me one more second. I'll pull it up. I can even share my screen once I locate
You
it.
gotta wait for us. We'll wait for you.
Okay, here we go. So it's a 6-month curriculum. As mentioned, it is 3 community group coaching calls. You'll get a project plan template. There's, as I mentioned, in-person kickoff and celebration events. And then the curriculum, you have access to it. It's self-guided and it's virtual. I am looking to see if there's another information piece that can give us more in terms of the timing, how many hours of time.
Yeah, and then those group coaching calls, like, is it during the workday? So for those of us that are volunteers, we might not be able to do this, but we could make Eric go do it.
Man, I have
Well, it
nothing else
sounds
to do
like
in
you
my
just make Eric do it, really. No, just kidding.
Maybe the smartest one, so.
You know, actually, I'm looking at this and it is you'll have one of the curriculum Zoom. I have no timing on this, a month, and then one group coaching call a month. And I think that the timing, if I'm not mistaken, they're going to be asking about preferences. Because it's not going to be we're only going to open it at maximum 10 cohorts, and we're honestly would like to keep it at like 5. And so we are going to be able to be flexible with what the group needs are, knowing that people have, you know, other commitments at different times. But that's a really good question. And the fact that I don't have an easy answer for you is something that I will, Kristen Lopez is our education and training director, and I will get more clarity around that and can send it to you.
I think Paul has a question.
Thank you. Thank you, Eric.
There we go. Sorry about that. Thank you. Yeah, I was curious about as far as membership, as far as like how many years can you do it a 1 year, or is there a limit, or how many years are we locked in at?
Oh, it's an annual membership. So you'll renew every year that you want to renew, which
Thank
I'm
you.
sure will be forever.
Any other questions?
How long have you been in business?
Almost 25 years has Connecticut Main
Oh.
Street been an organization in the state. And we work with over 60 communities. We work with a couple of regional partners. We've started doing projects with 2 of our cities where they're working on multiple commercial nodes within those cities. So it's almost like mini main streets throughout. And as I mentioned, the towns that we work with are as large as New Haven and as small as Norfolk in Connecticut. So it really it runs the gamut in terms of the size and what those communities are looking to do. And as I mentioned, who we work with. So in some communities, like in Fairfield, the person that we work with is their economic development director, same in the city of Groton. In the city of New London, we're working with the Cultural District Commission. Ridgefield, we work with the Economic Development Commission. New Britain, they have a Main Street program that is connected to a business improvement district. So we work with their executive director. Same in Bridgeport, we work with the executive director of the Bridgeport DSSD. So it just depends, on the community.
Go ahead, Dana, you have your hand raised again.
I'm mouthy today. All right. So let's say we want to do that accelerator program. Can Eric and I both do it, or is it for one person? Or can
Oh,
Eric?
no, it's for a team. And actually,
okay.
it has to be a team
It
because
has to be a team.
it does. Main Street is a team sport. And part of the application is to identify who the team members are, what the project is, or the problem is. So yes.
Is there a maximum to that team or a minimum?
No. Well, I no, there's no set number, but it is application based. And so, there might be a reason why, a particular community has, let's say a key group of people at the table where the planning that's being conducted can be actualized. So we want to see teams that, or not just the team, but the project is within the purview or the ability to enact of the group,
And
depending on what it is.
And could we include like the chamber president or a member, some
Oh,
members
yeah.
of the chamber? Okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because again, like that is the Main Street method it's all about collaboration and relationships, and that Main Street entity is, especially when a community is able to set that Main Street program up, an independent one, that's the one that's sort of the hub and the spokes kind of pull into that. So yes, we're looking for a diversity of teammates as well.
Go ahead, Paul.
Thank you. I was curious how long you've been working with some of these cities like New Britain, Waterbury, Windsor.
That's a great question that I don't have the answer to. I know that Waterbury has been a member for a very long time. They're one of the 4 Main Street programs that are accredited by Main Street America in Connecticut. So I'm certain they've been a member at least for over 10 years. Windsor too is one of the first Main Street programs in the state. So again, I imagine since Connecticut Main Street was here, they worked with like Windsor, Simsbury, Waterbury. I don't remember which other communities that you've asked about. Sorry?
New Britain?
How long have they been working with? I don't know, but hold on, I can probably find that out too. As I mentioned, I'm new to the organization, so I don't have some of that knowledge on the tip of my tongue. But I will say that as a generally, we have a very low attrition rate. Our members, that I would say that we have like an 85% retention among our members. Very few drop off once they become members of Connecticut Main Street. And we've been getting a lot of new members of late, in particular because of this really valuable assessment tool. People are really gravitating towards that. They really want us to get into their towns and walk the streets. The process takes like 2.5 hours. It's very intense and super helpful. So we've been getting, more people reaching out specifically because of that.
Michelle, I have another question for you. Is it possible maybe you can send out to either Mary or Teresa at some point, maybe some comparably sized towns of Newington, 30,000, we'll say, that you guys have worked with, and maybe some of the commission would want to go kind of look in those Main Street areas and see what's happening and, see what they like, what they don't like, something like that. If
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
That might be helpful.
Yes. Would you like to, and I can certainly reach out, and I would encourage you to reach out to Nicole Bosco, for example, in New Britain.
Okay.
And you can ask her to tell you what she thinks. Yes, and I will look at other communities that we've worked with that aren't brand new, so that they have some more, time under their belts with us. And I'll send you a list and the contact person who we work with, so that you talk to the right person who's affiliated.
Absolutely.
Any other questions? Okay. Thank you very much, Michelle, for your presentation. It was very informative. All the questions I had, everyone else asked. Thank you, Eric, for asking a couple that about getting information. And also thank you, Michelle, for allowing us to start a little late so you wouldn't have to come back. And I would also like to thank Mary for doing research and reaching out to you. It's, I think, something we need to discuss and figure out if it's something that we can do to pair with you.
Absolutely. And of course, I'm available to answer any further questions. I will send, Mary, should I send the information to you?
That would be perfect. Thank you.
Okay, I will send you information about Accelerator, and I will give you a list of our members that are of comparable size and let you know who our contact person is. And then, as I mentioned, I'm available to answer any questions, and always so excited to go visit people on their main street. So certainly feel free if you want to ask your questions in person. Would love to visit you and see your downtown for myself.
Michelle, thank you so much. This has been so informative. You've given us a lot to think about, a lot to talk about. So I can't tell you how much we appreciate meeting you and for the wonderful presentation you gave tonight. Thank you. And I look forward to working with you and to hearing from you.
Oh, thank you so much. Y'all have a good night. It was nice to meet all of you. Bye-bye.
You as well.
Thank you.
Okay. Do we, Mary, once you get that information, do you mind sending it to the rest of us?
That would be great.
And is everyone Okay, and is everyone okay with, once we digest what we've learned and read up more on what Michelle sends us, to put it to old business and discuss it next month? And I will also, just so we know if it's something to go forward, I will check with our finance department about how much money we do have in our budget.
I have a quick favor, if I may. I really don't think I have accurate emails for everybody who's in the group. So if there's, I don't know if that's from Teresa or from Eric. I definitely have emails for people who I don't think participate, and I don't think I have accurate information for everybody. So if I could just get a working list of emails, and other people maybe in the town hall who maybe want to be included in some of that communication, I would really appreciate it. It'd make it a lot easier for me to get information to you guys efficiently.
We probably have a email distribution list for the group. I'll double check and see, and I'll send it out.
Awesome.
You'll have it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I know we have a lot, even if you
Thank-
go on the town website, there's a bunch of members that are still on the commission that obviously aren't, and we got to clean that up
It's
too.
really confusing for me.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you again, Mary. Any public participation?
There's
I
no
don't
one
see
online.
any public.
No.
If I may, just real quick, I'd like to thank Councilwoman Kimrata for also helping point in the direction.
You're quite welcome, and I don't know, should I participate as a member of the public? Kimrata, 128 Cambria Avenue, Newington. I would also like to be included when you have information to send out. And I definitely, we have a council meeting on Tuesday evening and have an opportunity for us to kind of bring back information from the commissions that we are liaisons to. So I definitely will bring this to the council. I think people will be very excited and interested to hear. So thank you all for allowing me to sit in and participate.
Thank you. Thank you, Councilman Rada. Any commissioners' comments? Okay, can I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, second, please.
Second.
Okay. Sounds great. And we'll see everyone back here on Wednesday, November 1st.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great night.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.